Navalehu. Thank you very much. I feel very honored and happy to be here today. Thank you, Navalehu, for a very warm welcome. I used to travel when I was a little boy, when we didn't have that road from Sayanga straight to Tambia. Naduri was a place that we wanted to always stop. The bus used to go right to the end, and this road was always very familiar to us. The love and affection that we always received from people of this area, from Naduri. I remember the health center. If there was no doctor in Tuketi, there was no hospital in Sayanga, we used to come to Naduri. So I'm very pleased to be here. And I know the Turanganitui Macuata, His Excellency the President, knows that we in government, we are very conscious of the need to enhance development in Banwalebu. Whether it's our health services, whether it's our water services, road. I came to visit this area after Cyclone Yasa, and I appreciate and understand the conditions of the road and the development and the services that people like yourselves need. I want to, on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Sitiveni Rambuka, and the whole government, express our gratitude for the work that you do in this area. And we appreciate that. The coalition government of three parties, the People's Alliance, Sodalpa, and the National Federation Party. And we know that the late Ratu Soso Katunivere from this area was a member of the National Federation Party. Navalehu, and thank you for the historical support that we got from the people of Macuata, and in particular people of Naduri and all these villages around it. We, as a government, we are strong. We are focused on improving the support and services to our people. And we want to work very closely with our government officials. And I thank the district officer for being here. Former Member of Parliament, Honorable Pramod Chand, he knows the difficulty of transport, bus services, and we are going to work with the people. That's the philosophy of our government. We want to work with you. We want to come and consult with you, talk to you, to see how we can improve the quality of life of our people in the villages, in the settlements. The focus for us in Vanua Levu, we want to improve first thing the health facilities. We want to upgrade all the health centers and make sure that our people get better services. We want to promote agriculture and tourism, and as you probably already heard, a major tourism development project for Vanua Levu is almost finalized and will start in the next few months. That project, the Vanua Levu Tourism Development Project, will include the upgrade of Lambasa Airport, Sabsabu Airport, this corridor from Lambasa right up to Sabsabu, including Naduri, including this area which is so beautiful, which offers a lot of opportunity for tourism development. We had two very good events, very unifying events this month. The government has declared the Girmit Day as a national public holiday, and we had a great commemoration and celebration. It was a very united commemoration and celebration. Then we had the restoration of the Great Council of Chiefs, and the meeting was open in Bau, and we were privileged and honored to be present in Bau, and that was followed by Ratu Lala Sukuna's life's commemoration and celebration, and retained the national public holiday that was taken away. And again, those two events brought our people together. We believe that this country will only progress if we all work together. And that is the philosophy, that is what our Honorable Prime Minister wants, that's what everybody in government wants. We had the National Economic Summit, and one special session in the National Economic Summit was how to promote our indigenous business participation in the economic activity. We have also made the decision to bring our languages in Parliament. We can speak in Itoke in Parliament, we can speak in Hindi in Parliament. We want to strengthen the Itoke administration, and already in the budget we are looking at improvement in the villages. We are thinking of a village development fund to ensure that we improve the condition of the villages. A lot of people, if we want to promote tourism development, if we want people to come back to villages and see, how beautiful it is, how people live, we need to improve the facilities in our villages. We may not be able to do everything in the next budget because we also have a big debt to deal with, but we want to balance it. We want to increase some taxes, some revenue, but we also want to spend more money on our people. to improve the health services, to improve the villages, to bring better roads, water, electricity. So for that we need money. But we also want to look after our people. First month, you will remember, when we came in, we realized that our parents needed support to put students back. I, as Minister of Finance, we identified $50 million and we allocated that, and we provided $200 each to every student from preschool to Form 7. And we paid more than $43 million to more than 214,000 students. And I'm sure a lot of the students here would have got that 200. And that money was used very well. Our parents went bought books, bags, stationery, shoes, sandals for the students to get back. Because we know as a government that our people need help. All these rumor that the new government will take away social welfare, students will have to pay fees. These are all false lies. All the students will continue to have free education. They don't have to pay fees. We also want to increase social welfare. We want to give a little bit more to our parents, our elders who are over 70. We want to increase others, but over 70 we might increase more. So we want to promote the improvement in the quality of the villages that we have. So there will be some allocation of funding through the Ministry of Youth OK Affairs, and we have a very good minister for Youth OK Affairs, Honorable Ifremi Vasu. He will be visiting Vanuatu next week. I'm sure he will be talking to some of you as well. But the budget will be very balanced. We have to collect some revenue, but we also want to spend money on our people to improve the services. So again, thank you very much. I feel so happy and honored to be here, and I will let you ask me as many questions. If not questions, suggestions, tell us what we should do, how we should do, because we believe that there is a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of experience and wisdom that many of you have. Navalevu, thank you.
Ina tu manta upa pinipina tina ipa madala wai Biman na pa levo pa madala sama I siri bima bini buimbong ni ua pa levo am sama I bulida sama I rongoda sama pinipina tina ina matentu ne na sa tostio na huni bin karabi sabi karabi ti na enta bima melo ni bonua duole menga aure de mina taronga da me boleta tio a na suli I labo bi en ramba ibitu sanga bulu do matanga itu nga rongoti ni ado babi sanga bulu bale bi mamin misana makani ado banga bitu sanga bulu misana makani tarai na iwasu sinila muntung sama ibara tineti indo me ngata era ni suro somo nga mai namba yono sanga bulu Yanata.
Right now it's over 65. So what we are planning to do is to increase social welfare for everybody, but we are thinking that we might increase it by a bigger amount for people over 70. But we are looking at all the figures. But I take your point that a lot of people, you're right, the life expectancy for men is lower than women. It's about 68, 69. So you're right, a lot of them don't reach 70 on average. But Nawalebu, thank you for that suggestion, and we will keep that. We may not be able to do it immediately in this budget, but we want to increase for those who are receiving already, like over 65 and over 70. We might want to give more. How many people here are over 70 in the village?
Ebida ini mio bai bitsanga bulu lodai.
Iyo.
Labelinga. Bitsanga bulu lodai.
Not more than 5.
Over 65? Dua? Wala ka dua?
65 now, eh?
Iyo. Nawalebu. Naka. We are going to look at people in that category. We have raised the retirement age now from 55 to 60 for the civil servants, because we believe that 55 was not right. There's a lot of experience. At 55, people still have a lot more to contribute. So we have increased that. But we are going to look at the pension rate, and your suggestion to think those over 60 will also be considered. Thank you.
$10 for the student benefit. Will you assure us in every year coming? So every year coming, in every started of the school, you normally give to all the students of Fiji.
That was this is our government was the first government which provided this support, what we call back to school support, and we are thinking that we will try and provide it every year.
Question about housing. About housing. Before we used to have 1/3 contribution regarding housing, rural village housing. Can that can come up to this? We need that because
that's being discussed. The rural housing, the subsidy 1/3, 2/3 that we used to get. The housing ministry is looking at that. The Ministry of Rural Development is also, so there will be some allocation for that.
It's a good afternoon, sir. I'm a member of this village, and I'm one of the trustees of a development program. I take this opportunity to thank the government of the day for the initiative that you have implemented for the Village Development Fund. We, the village of Korotubu, raised funds through Solis in 2015, and we bought a land in Butualebu in Nandi. We managed to buy 2 lots in Lendusasa. The lease account is 51522, and our TLTB file reference is 10-40728. The lease started in 2015. That was the lease start date.
We have connected our water meter and was working on fencing when we were stopped in 2016. The area was to be developed by the previous government through town and country planning. We were to surrender our agreement for lease, then we would be issued with a proper lease by the previous government. We surrendered the AFL in 2019. Till to date, we are still continuing to pay our premiums for both the lots. But we are still waiting for the lease and the title which the previous government was supposed to work on. Our question is to you, sir, as the Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji. What is the assurance the government can give to the people of this village regarding our residential lease block, which we have bought 8 years ago, and we are still just paying the premiums. Nothing has come up.
Thank you. Look, we don't have the details, but what we will do is to take all the details from you, and we will check with the relevant authorities as to why that has been the case, and if there is a legitimate and compelling reason why it's not been done, then we should deal with it. But thank you for raising it. We will get back to you on that after checking. Thank you.
You, sir, you came through this road and then you see the condition of the road. It's one thing that we almost, for the last governments, we've been trying to tassel this road down to Naduri, right to the highway. Can that come up in?
Nawalevu Ratu, we've had a lot of discussion on the road in Banwalevu. We are very concerned about some of the ways in which things used to happen. We want to change that. The Minister for Works, Honorable Ratu Philipite Soau, is working very hard to change things within the government as to how we deal with this and prioritize maintenance and upgrade of roads where it is needed most. We are trying to bring back PWD as well, because some of you older people would remember that when PWD was around, these roads were in a much better condition. The drains, the side clearance was always done. So while we will allocate money to FRA, we are also trying to make sure that we allocate funding through a body like PWD to improve the roads. With respect to Tahsil, I don't want to promise anything that it will be done tomorrow, but obviously there would be plans to look at, because as you said quite rightly, this area can be, it's a very beautiful area for tourism development, for hotel development, and that can only happen, if we have good roads, good water supply, good electricity. I saw some in between Yalaba and the village in front. There is no power. It's up to here. So it's about just 2 or 3 kilometers that can be done, and power can be provided for the whole area. So, as part of a tourism development agenda for Banua Levu, roads, communication, the cable lines are being laid from Lambasa right up to TFL, so that we can improve communication, internet services, and the rest of the normal communication facility infrastructure that would be required for better investment and development. So thank you for raising that, Vinaka.
Bakery to help them in to finance the village. So that's the question. I will just translate it.
If somebody wants to start a business,
Is there any incentives or grants that help the...
I think, Joblesi, there's a lot of SME grants, incentives. Can you note that and maybe work with them to help them see how they can source the funds? That's possible. I think there are a lot of funds available for small, medium enterprises that can be sourced. Joblesi, there is under the Northern Development Program, under the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, there are funds available for small, medium enterprises, and that could be, one way to help them set up something in the village. Udaka.
Kita nangol sa Tigoloma. Time sa Nimbo sa Rirba ba't sa Tigoloma sa Korotubu. Ruo naka sa kiri Tiongo naka dua sa bidi bay na Korotubu. Kene karu na kotes. Sa bidi ko bilang na.
Kita kotes sa tigo ke nikwa.
Lima.
Bida sa
Kita sa Totigo.
Johnny, make note.
Sa Makawan.
Yeah.
Sa bidi ko na kotes. Bata nambay sa bay na Korotubu. But sa boarding school
Okay.
Sa yaw Malay Salam.
We will make note of that. The school के नाम लिख लेना. Right.
Bulabo District School.
Bulabo District School.
Sa nga nataro. Rende na vito saya ke nangauna ni oso ni wakata kana bawa rau ni singa ni mate nangauna ni singa ni sudu tanda rende na ni mami vito saya ke na mbara vera ni raumbe ni nandua tale mai na basi virto na kamba ni basi na parmod menanda uke ke mami na vito saya ki ni kauti ke mami ani na taon le volleyball le stale ngaman ruochunga nang pasela ko chona nga unong indo irchunga indo nang pasela ko na matalay na ilis may na tinikan dua ilis talimay ng dua na kaloko ala ilis talimay na ba ilis may siyangganga indo chunga nang bas kini karu na dalip puwe may lawa may na patakin nang bas ni sipa na bimama ni walu wakin na bimama ni tini ya ki mami kere-kere ciwe na raw talembera ni dua tale nang base na lila ko may mena buki ki mami na bito sa aki ena lo manimbara vera may Naduri kakau tayan ni gilambasa ya sa natar
na walebu Mr. Chan ada basa numa sara o se tsatsenga
Vinaka. She's one question was she wants there's no bus during Easter holidays, Christmas and all that. Is that right? The second is you have only one bus, our bus running 2 trips. The other one, the Seva bus. The Seva bus comes like this too? Yeah. What time do you want the bus? another bus. 1 o'clock, Melaki Bay.
E na rombe kanina lau mai na dua na kaloko. Niki mai milai boli-boli. Mina gai listele mai na vana kaloko ne kap. Kena libu.
Okay, what we will do, the bus that leaves in the morning, you forgot about another bus that comes in the morning at 6:15, from Naduri to Lambasa. Right? So I'll look at it and organize it. They only don't kere bimbi. Everybody should have a bus card, and in your bus card you have the top up. Please, you want bus, don't give cash to the driver. You give cash to the driver, sabutango. Sa siniado may biyaw. Sa siniado may biyaw, sa senga na yanga na didinapas. Ang gondo na kiri bimbikim do. I'll look at it and I'll try to do the Tambia bus to go right up to Naduri. And, you want 1 o'clock from the town? Or you want one bus that leaves here 1 o'clock, less to 4 o'clock, Okay, said.
Say, in regard to our village proposal, I just once again read it to you today. First, we have been discussed to have a concrete water tank for 20,000 litre. We normally face a problem in the village during June, in the month of June, in dry time. So we kindly request, we need a tank. And we have been written here in our proposal. And second is our teachers' quarters. There is a kindy teachers or Indian girl used to come all the way from Nakama and come and teach here. So when she go back, take a time. So what she did, she just stay with one of our family here. So we keep her, an Indian girl. So we decided, the village, so we asked the government or an NGO, we need a help for the quarters for the king. Also, our village, we need a drainage system. Because normally the water from the main road come all the way to the village. When you come inside, you can notice that the water coming inside. Also our seawall. And our hall here. We need to be extension of our halls. You can see that inside is so hot. We need, you know it. No, not aircon. Also, upgrading our village. 8 houses, those who don't have flush toilet. Number 7 point already been mentioned, the tassel of the road. And I request that the bridge at Langere, the small bridge there. And finally, our school, as raised by one of our elders here, building our school fence. Also, the roads goes inside with the school teachers' quarters. That's all, sir. We have been giving to people this.
Just one request regarding playgrounds in villages. I think most of the villages around here, they don't have playgrounds. And I know sports is one of the, we need playgrounds. It's one reason why our youths leave our village and move out, because we don't have proper sporting facilities. Yeah.
Naka.
The issue is regarding the youth village. It's been running for more than 20 years from our parents and raised down to us. There are many projects going on in the village actually funded by our local youth, Uluisor Youth Club, our village youth. As you can see, just before you enter the village, there's a new bus stop there. That was raised by the youth, our village youth. Other project regarding the footpaths and our hall, painting of our hall. That's all the youth of this village actually funded by us locally. We also received a boat funded by Ministry of Youth, a fiberglass boat with a 40 horsepower engine, which is running off almost 10 years now. We've been running on the same boat and the same engine from that day until today. The question is that we seek for your help if we can have another engine, but the same boat, funded by your government to help us as the youth of this village by keeping us funding our own village. That's the question, sir.
There is, thank you for raising that, and you explained it very well. There is provision for maximum of 10,000 grant from government under the scheme where you contribute, certain amount, including the engine, and the government. So we have some funding for that to be able to help those who need something like what you suggested. So maybe you can pursue that with our officials and access those funding as well. But we've taken note of what you've said about other things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Naka.
If government is going ahead with forgiving all the tail debt, can it consider an approach where those who are under tails pay 75% to be eligible for release, their bond, and for 25% is forgiven? Some that at least some income will be recovered for the government to offer.
The reason why the coalition government has decided to write off the loan, because first of all, hardly anyone was paying. So we out of 613 million that's already there, on average we were collecting about $5 to $7 million anyway. So if we write off that loan, government is probably losing about 5 to 7 million. But the burden on the poor parents and students who have come out, who are still struggling to, find good jobs and help them, will be lifted. So what we are planning for the new scheme is students will still get full scholarships for different, programs based on their marks, but they will not have to pay back that as a loan. The only thing we will do is bond them to save the country for a particular period of time. And in that way, it lifts the burden of financial burden on many of the poor families, including the students, and it will be a better scheme, than what we have. With the same amount of money that government was giving, probably with a little bit less, we would be able to provide support to everyone that wants to go into different programs and different tertiary institutions.
So can you enlighten us on value-added tax, whether the cost of living that we are going through will increase or not?
If I just explain to you the history, between 2011 and 2016, the VAT rate was 15%, and all of you were paying that for everything, including food. So there was a 15% VAT rate. Then in 2016, it got reduced from 15 to 9%, but there was one flat rate. Then after COVID, we had three rates: 1-0 on basic food items, 9% and 15%. So for some items, you are already paying 15% VAT. Some you are paying 9%. And for some food items, 21 items, you are paying no VAT. So we are looking at the possibility of going back to one rate or having 2 rates but not 3 rates anymore. That is not going to happen in the next one. But we have to make sure that we have a rate which gives us enough revenue so that we can give enough to those who need it. See, if you, on the zero VAT, if 30 or 40% of the people who need to benefit, if we add 24% below poverty line, another 15% who may be on the margins of poverty, that will take you to 39%. 61% of the people with a zero VAT on basic also benefit, those who can pay. And the government there could lose, 150 to 160, 170, depending on what the rate is or what the items are. So one thinking is that we have a flat rate for everybody and collect that revenue that the 61% are also benefiting and put more money into social welfare and people who need the support most. So that's, but we have not decided whether to just go for 1 rate or 2 rates, but definitely not 3 rates. But we're doing the calculations. We want to make sure that if we do that, we support those who need it most through enhanced revenue and enhanced, social welfare and other schemes that are there. So that's the thinking right now.
Bulbinaka, Mr. Biman. There's a question regarding us living in rural areas. We have our source of income from going fishing, doing farming. There's a big problem faced in the rural areas is the market. Most of us struggle to sell their catch like fish or cassava or yangon, because there's a lack of market, and that's why we are selling in lower price every time. If we can have a proper market that is done by the government to help the people, because the prices always stays at one level. Thank you.
And an important and significant problem for our rural farmers and fishermen. One problem is that the middlemen actually make more money. The agriculture ministry and the agro marketing company that we have, we need to review their function and how they can support the availability or the provision of appropriate structure to provide market, direct market for some of our farmers in the rural areas. In some sense, that is their role, but it doesn't seem to be in the best of arrangements at the moment to provide that kind of service and support to small farmers and small suppliers. There are, of course, problems to do with the infrastructure, road, transport, to get it to an appropriate place at an appropriate time to be able to get the best price. So farmers sometimes, and you're right, farmers sometimes just have to sell it cheaply wherever the market is available. And sometimes those the middlemen know that they can get it at a very good price and make a lot of money. So very important point that you raised, and it's something that we need to look at and review and see how we can enhance those services for our smaller farmers, fishermen, and those engaged in that kind of economic activity. Naka, thank you. He's working very hard.